Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Energy Inside Motion. I'm here today with my guest, Ayo Beatz.
How you doing?
Pleasure to have you here, man.
Thank you, man.
So if you'd like to tell the audience just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I go by the name of Ayo Beatz. I'm an artist, producer. So when I say artist, I mean performing artist. I make music, rap, bit of singing, a bit of melodic stuff. Also, I produce all genres, so different genres I produce music in, and engineering, a lot of the live stuff, like just all-round musician.
So obviously you do both producing and rapping.
Yeah.
Did you get into rapping first or producing first?
Rapping first. So I moved to the States when I was probably around 15. Yeah. And I was there for a few years, living with family. And my cousins used to rap, so I got into rapping that way. When I returned back and I went to college, one of my friends just introduced me to like a music production course. And I joined just to get like free studio time, but I ended up learning how to produce as well. I learned a lot from him as well because he produced predominantly. So that's how I got into producing, for myself anyway. And then it went on to doing stuff for others.
So what producers inspired you?
Obviously, my Mount Rushmore is obviously Timbaland, Dr. Dre, Pharrell, DJ Premier, and people like that, yeah.
Okay. So where did you grow up?
Oh, so I grew up in East London, Hackney. And then, like I said, I moved around a lot. So I moved to Northwest London a bit. Then I moved to the States. And then when I came back, I lived in North London, which is like Tottenham. And that's where I went to college as well, yeah.
So as you were growing up, how did your home life and your sort of environment influence your art?
Yeah, I think it definitely did, especially now, when I'm the more music I go into, the different genres I realize that a lot of it is inspired by my upbringing. Obviously, I grew up in an African household. So there's you hear a lot of Afro beats in there, and obviously me also living in the States, you can hear that influence in my music. So I feel like it's definitely, affected my music a lot.
So what inspires you as an artist? What inspires you to create?
I think life just inspires me. I think I spend a lot of time traveling around, traveling to different countries, performing in different places. And I feel like I kind of let it lead me when it comes to creating music to release. So I'm always okay, cool. If I go, for example, this year we did a lot of stuff in Asia, Thailand, Philippines. We was in Dubai as well, doing a lot of shows there, and other parts of the Middle East. I feel like them being in those regions and performing to people that not everyone knows the songs. It's we come back and we're okay, cool, how can we tweak what we're doing to make sure that wherever we perform it, they kind of understand the vibe, even if they haven't heard it before. So it's therefore,
So how did you transition from obviously performing in this country to then performing internationally?
So what ended up happening was when I was on a run, kind of making, just trying to figure out the sound and making loads of different tunes, I would go back and forth to Dubai a lot. And I kind of I made a song that was called Burj Khalifa, which I kind of was inspired by the Burj Khalifa, the building in one of the tallest buildings in the world. So I made that record and I've kind of just put it out online, SoundCloud, whatever. And the radio station over there kind of picked it up. They started playing it, Radio 1 UAE. And then there was a group called SOS who were they were Dubai based, but they were getting played on that radio station too. So they kind of heard me and they saw how much I was getting played and were like, yeah, we should make a song together. And then we made this song called Abu Dhabi, which was based on there's the whole spin on dabbing and then Abu Dhabi. But at the time, I'd been to Dubai lots, but I had never been to Abu Dhabi. So it's I'm making a song called Abu Dhabi and never been to Abu Dhabi. And then basically, we ended up, the first time I went to Abu Dhabi was when we shot the music video. So we flew out there, did the video, released it. That was like one of the most viewed videos that I released at the time. It was the first time I reached 1 million views. And then I did a remix to that, and it had Chip on there. It's called Chip, and it had Red Cafe on there. So after we released that, and that started doing well, the shows started coming in. So then I started doing more Dubai shows, and then that kind of branched out into other Middle East regions. And then, from there, I just started to like figure that, oh, look, if you can make a record with somebody in one region and like get that kind of support, then the world is really your oyster. As long as you can create the music, you can literally go anywhere and like network with people and help out, and they help you. And then eventually you build a kind of like a relationship in different regions, and that's what we've done. Like, and working with DJ Ironic now has even made it even more impactful.
So when did your relationship with DJ Ironic start?
Well, so quite early on actually. Like, it was one of the first artists I actually worked with. Like, he was the first like established artist that I worked with. The first major budget music video I ever done was with the song that me and him did, and like. Yeah, it's years and years, but like it's been in and out of like collaboration to like more production. So a lot of the times it's been like me producing for him, and then sometimes it's been me featuring on a record. I think this is the first time for a long time now that it's a record that we've made where we're joint collaborators, like 50-50 on the tune. Which is really good stuff.
What do you think the importance of collaboration is for artists?
I think it's super important, man. I don't think I'd be where I am now without collaboration. Obviously, you get to showcase what it is you do on records with other people. So like, remember, if these people have a separate audience to you, you're showing what you can do to their audience, and they're showing what they can do to your audience. So I feel like it's super important, because like most people, if they really think about it, the way that they discovered an artist that they listen to today was through a song that we're featured on. Most of the time that's how it happens, so yeah, I think it's important.
How did you build your own unique audience, and what advice would you have for artists who are trying to build their own?
I think it's just consistency. Like, plug as much content as you can. And with the content, don't focus on like one piece of content being a successful piece. I don't focus on like, oh, I need to be viral. Think of your platforms as like, I always say, think of your platforms like your own radio station. Like, when we log in to listen to a radio station, not every song we're gonna like that they're playing, but overall we get a feel that they play good tunes. And then we keep going and listening to that station. So I think your platforms are the same thing. To gain that traction, it's more about being consistent and letting them know, okay, you might not like this one I dropped, but you have to admit that this is good, that this is quality. And I think over time, people will trust in your brand, 100%.
So how did you sort of build your own personal brand?
Just trial and error, really, collaborating, being as consistent as possible, like putting music up every day, like posting content every day. Like I said, collaborating with other artists that are similar to me. I think another hack I'd say as well, that's worked for me, is not necessarily always trying to work with like the biggest artists. Like, work with artists on the same level, or sometimes like lower in terms of like following, because I feel like the support will be more organic. It won't be driven by like, oh, who's bigger, who can get me this and that. It will just be like, oh, I like what you're doing, you like what I'm doing. Let's put that together, let's put it out to the people, and then let's multiply. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So how did you really curate your own sound as an artist, and what advice would you have for artists who are trying to find their own unique sound?
I think me creating my sound was like, obviously, I feel like it's been easier for me based on the fact that because I produce for so much artists, they're always bringing me sounds like, oh, what do you think of this? I want to do something like this. So like, I kind of get to like look at all of that and then be like, oh, that's good. Like maybe I need to try something like that. Or if I did that, but mixed it with that. So I think like developing my sound is just like a combination of all the people I've worked with and people I've produced for, bringing me the latest. And then I'm here kind of going, oh, that's good. I'll some of that and then I'll mix it together. Yeah.
So obviously being a producer and a rapper, do you feel like there's a stigma around being a producer and rapper? And if so, how did you feel like you've overcome that?
Yeah, definitely. I think whatever you lead with is always the one that like people respect more. So I feel like if you're a rapper, but then you go like, oh, yo, I make beats as well, you know, like people immediately are going to be like, oh, okay, cool, you're trying to make beats because you rap. And there's the other way around as well. Like if you're like, oh, I'm a producer, but you know I rap too. They always think that's like secondary. It's like, okay, cool, because you have access to studio 24/7, now you want to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't even, like a lot of times people don't even know that I started off as a rapper because I've had success as a producer. They always assume that I produced, and then I woke up one day and said, oh, well, I'm going to rap too. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, obviously the people that know, but yeah, there's always a bit of it's hard to navigate. You know, some of the greatest like, have done it well, but it's not easy.
So in terms of songwriting, how did you learn to write your own songs?
So my first like raps that I wrote were just based on like other people's raps. So like I'd listen to a rap, so I listened to like a Jay-Z verse or something like that, and then basically copy how many lines he has, and then where he put like, so for example, if he has a metaphor that comes in on the 8th bar, I'll just put mine there as well. If he started with this, or look at how the story in the verse goes, like where does he start, how does he finish, and just mimic that, but put my own lyrics into it. That's kind of how I started writing verses. The song part came more when I started making music for other artists. So like, they'd be like, make me a song, and they'd be like, oh, make me a song like this. And then I'd be like, okay, cool. I'd analyze the song that they want a song like, and be like, okay, there's a part in there like this, there's a part like that. And then I'd learn to like replicate that until eventually I got the formulas, and then I could do it on my own.
So like student of the game type thing.
Yeah.
So like you really studied other people's raps, and that sort of, I guess, formulated your own style.
100%.
What advice do you have for artists who are trying to craft their own songs? Because obviously you have a lot of writing camps as well now.
Yeah.
That's sort of always been a thing with labels and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, what advice do you have for artists who are getting into songwriting?
Yeah, writing camps are a good idea. I mean, I've never really have I done a writing camp? Maybe once or twice. It's not what I would lead with. I think to understand your identity as a writer and not be tainted by like a brief or what they want you to write. I feel like you first need to learn to collaborate. So meaning that like it might be like you as an artist and another artist writing together might get you used to like getting in rooms, you know what I mean, where you're giving your, like lending your talent as a writer. I think if you go straight into like writing camps, I feel like it could be a bit of a, you know what I mean, it's a wild west there. So I think like the first thing would be like maybe like looking at writers that are on the same kind of, in the same bracket or have done the same amount as you and being like, okay, come, let's just write music together. I think that's always a great way to build up a catalogue, because essentially they're going to be asking you, okay, what have you written? And you're going to have a body of work to show. So yeah, it's good to try and team up with like one other writer, and then you guys just write stuff together. It's good.
So what concepts and life experiences actually influence your songs?
Just like day to day, anything that's going on within me. Like, I probably try and release at most 2 songs a year. I don't try and release more than that unless it's like a project. It'll be 2 songs a year. So I got 6 months to live before I make a song. Do you know what I'm saying? So the song's not getting made in one session. Although, when I make a song for someone else, it's made in one session or like half a day. When I make my own songs, they just get put together bits and pieces. Like when I'm driving, I'll come up with a bit of a hook. I'm on the train, I'll come up with a bit of the verse. The beat might come to me when I've got to another country. By the time I've got back, I've got on my laptop, I've put it all together. Then the collaborations might come later. It might take, I give myself unlimited time to make a song. Yeah.
What's your creation process like when you're producing a beat?
I always start with drums, and then I'll go drums, melody, bass, and then I'll leave it at that for vocals before I add anything else. Yeah, just to strip back the bare minimum we need to be able to write to. You know.
Could you tell the viewers about what your first album was called?
Yeah.
And then how you crafted the album? Okay,
cool. So the first album I made was called Loud Atlas. The title was inspired by the movie Cloud Atlas. And I don't know if you watched that film, but they live in different lives. They go through different lives. So I felt like this album, similar thing. It was like different parts of my life, but that felt like I was living a different life each time. Right. So that was the kind of inspiration behind it, like taking the different life, because it was the first album I'd made. I had my whole life up to that point to make that. So I'm like different stages in my life that make me feel like I'm living a different life, but I've put them all together. And so there's a gradual process. So yeah, that was one of the first albums. Yeah, that was the first album. Yeah.
What was the first record label that you signed to?
Oh, so the first time I got signed, I was with a kind of independent label. They kind of distribute through Universal, but they were called Mission. I think they were called Mission. It was a long time ago, but I think they were called Mission Limited, I'm sure. But yeah, I did a deal with them. They actually discovered me producing for another artist, and I was in there producing, and they were like, "Oh, you're really good at producing," and then they were like, "Yeah, do you make your own music?" And I was like, "Yeah," and then they heard some of the stuff I was working on, and they were like, "Yeah, it'd be really cool if we could do a single for you," and we ended up putting a single out, and then that was the first deal. It was cool. It was a single deal, one song.
So, what's your experiences been like working with record labels, and would you recommend artists to be independent or to work with a record label?
I'd say it kind of depends where you're at in terms of like capital, like money really. Like a label at this point, where we're at and where the internet is at, like we have access to everything. Like there's nothing that we can't access that a label can't. Do you know what I mean? It's the same. We all have the same access. We just might not all have all the same funding or maybe like the knowledge on who to speak to, but you can always find that out. So I feel like if you focus on getting the budget together and then getting the knowledge on who to speak to do what you need to do, I don't think you need a label. But if you're like starting out and you're like, okay, I don't think there's going to be a way I want to find the budget, and I don't know who to speak to, then maybe in management and a label might be your way to kind of get in the game. Also, I feel like the labels in this time, they really focus on signing who's already on the way there anyway. So I feel like by the time you're already on the way, why do you need to sign if you get it? So yeah, I mean, me personally, obviously I've lived both sides, having a record deal and not having a record deal. And I feel like there's perks to both, but I'd prefer not to be signed right now. Yeah.
So in terms of the industry, what was your sort of, I guess, way of navigating the industry? And what advice do you have for artists who are trying to navigate their way through the industry?
I think my way of navigating was kind of understanding early that like in order to get somewhere or to make things happen, you need to have something to offer. Do you know what I'm saying? You need to be able to offer something that like, it feels like a trade-off. It's transactional, but it's like if you walk in the door and you're like, I've got this and you guys haven't got this, but I want this. It's a lot easier than like, help me get this because I don't have this. Because everybody needs something and everybody's looking to complete that puzzle. So like, to give you an example, it's like, if I need a car and the person I'm asking needs a boat, like him giving me a car doesn't help him get a boat unless I give him the keys to a boat in return for the car. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like that's how music works. It's like, oh, if he needs an instrumental, I've got something to give him. I need a verse, we can trade off. But if I'm just like, oh, based on the fact that I'm good, give me a verse, he's looking at me like, well, why should I give you the verse just because you're good? I'm good too. And I'm actually trying to get something else. So it's like, that's the way the kind of game works. Is like, what do you bring to the table? And then what do you need? It doesn't always need to be an even trade, but sometimes it's like, you might only have this, but that might be exactly what they need. So sometimes it's that kind of trade-off. Okay.
So what's a problem that you faced in the industry or in your career, and how did you overcome that problem?
So this is a problem I faced actually. 2020, I was over in Dubai for a while, and I ended up going to a place called Oman, which is next door to Dubai. I was doing a few bits and pieces there, and then the lockdown hit, and basically the airports got shut off. So we couldn't get out, we couldn't leave. So I was really in Oman for like over a year. And that was an obstacle because obviously I'm based in England. So I had to kind of work everything remotely. During that time though, is when I kind of teamed up with Wes Nelson. So that's when I started working with him. But all our music we had to do remotely. So we wrote our songs on FaceTime and Zoom. And then we'd record demos, send them over, listen to that. He'd have to send it back, you know. But the songs we ended up working on, well, one of them ended up being a top 3 single. And then, the rest of them did really well too. So that was me overcoming that obstacle of not being able to come back to England, but actually working better remotely. And I at that time, I wasn't the type of, if anyone that's worked with me knows me, they know I'm a work in person type of producer. I don't really send beats ever. I don't send beats over. I don't work remotely. I work in person. Even when I'm in the same country as you, I'd be like, come to the studio, let's make the song from scratch. So that was a first time for me, having to work, sending over a beat and writing remotely. And so that was a big obstacle, but I overcame it, and it actually ended up working out better for me.
Okay. How important do you think it is for artists to be adaptable in the industry?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think obviously stick to what you know best, but being adaptable is never a bad thing. I think anything you can add to your toolbox is great. You know what I'm saying? And finding your way to navigate that is always going to be good.
Something I wanted to dive into was around live performances. Yeah. So, what was the first time that you performed live?
I can't even remember now. I feel like I did an open mic showcase one time, and that went okay. I don't remember the first time. I don't remember the first time, but I remember the worst time. The worst time, I can't remember where it was, but I feel like it was somewhere Bournemouth or somewhere like that. I did a show, and it was one of my DJ friends who used to have a resident spot DJing at a place, and he brought me through to perform a song that we had together and to do some of mine. And I basically pulled up there, it was lit, all my face on all the posters. It was the first time it was a proper booking. And I was getting paid decent as well. So we've gone in there, they've got us at the table waiting to go and perform. And I'm hyped up, gassed up. The room's looking full. It was one of those ones where it had different rooms, like a club that had different rooms. Like I'm obviously in the hip hop R&B room or whatever. So I'm at the table, I'm gassed up. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go in there, and then it's like I get on. I walk up. They call me up, so I walk up to the stage. As soon as I get on the mic, everybody in the room left the room. Empty room now. So I have to carry on before I'm getting paid. I got to carry on. So there's maybe 3 people from a full room to like 3 people. So we're like, yo, we just have to do what we need to do. And my guy was one of my friends was with me. So he had, I think I had a song I was performing with him. So we did the whole set. I just looked at it as like a rehearsal, a warm up. Got it done. And then we finish, everybody comes back in. And the DJ carries on playing. And we, went back to the table, had a few drinks, got paid and went home. But, that was a learning curve for me. It's happened a couple of times. Like, there's been times where you go, you get on stage and it's like, it's just not your night, you know what I mean? But I think it inspires you to like keep trying to improve your music. Because like, when you go back to the time when you first heard your favorite song, no one had to convince you to like it. You just liked it. You just kept playing it loads of times. And like, that's what we're trying to strive to achieve. Those moments where it's like I feel like I have now, especially with the latest song, like, we're performing it at places where it's just been out for a week and people are singing along to the song. Because the vibe's infectious. The vibe is like, that vibe comes from tweaking the sound over all the years to make sure that, look, when I get on stage, no matter where I am in the world, I'm still gonna have the same response because now I've understood what people want. So, yeah.
With live performances, what do you feel makes a good live performance? And how do you think that artists can learn how to do their own live performances?
I think crowd participation is important. Like, if you study it a little bit, like go to events, be in the crowd, be in the audience and try and understand how they feel. Watch other people's shows as well. That's important. Like I'm always scrolling through YouTube and looking at other people's shows and that, how they performed. And then I think just trying to understand the audience. But crowd participation is very important. Talk to them, get where they're coming from. Don't be afraid to throw like a couple of other songs in there that aren't yours, but that you like, to connect with them and make them understand that you're excited about this music as much as they are. So I think that's important. Yeah.
So have you performed at festivals before?
Yeah, so I've done Reading and Leeds, I've done Wireless, I've done loads of other ones as well. I did Bread Festival, which is in Abu Dhabi, and I did Beats on the Beach, which is also there too. So, yeah.
What was it like going from performing at a concert or maybe a club to then performing at a festival?
I think, actually a festival is a lot easier. I think difference between performing at a club and a festival is a club, people don't all come to see a performance. They come to have a drink, they come to talk, they come to socialize. They're not really there for a performance. They're there because you're coming there, but it's more like, this person's coming there, so that means all these people are gonna be there too, so it's gonna be busy, so I'm coming out. Whereas a festival, everybody came to watch people on stage. Nobody really came for, do you know what I mean? Your whole point of a festival is that we're watching performers. It's not a nightclub, so therefore it's like, you've got your audience, everyone's in front of you, so it's more about what you deliver to them. But I feel festival crowds are a lot easy, like they participate more. So if you have a really good show and a good set and it's all smooth from start to finish, it will pull off better at a festival than in a club.
Okay. So when you first started in the industry, what's something you wish you knew then that you know now?
Like that, trust and believe in your gifts and have patience. I feel like sometimes the impatience can make you, like when you're impatient, it can make you make decisions that you don't need to make or make you miss certain things that could actually help your career as a whole on the long run. So yeah, definitely have patience.
Well, I think something that's a really big with the music industry, obviously the business side of it. So how did you sort of navigate the business aspects of the music industry with obviously the beats that you create and the songs that you create?
So obviously I've always had worked with managers. So I've always had a manager to kind of give me advice. And then also, like I said, because I studied, I had my music production course, but then I studied commercial music business too. So I kind of understood a lot about like the business side from early that most people don't really know because, you know, it's not really taught like from an artist perspective. You focus on your talent most of the time. But yeah, I was just lucky that, yeah, I studied that. I had the course that I studied, so I was quite, quite in the know about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so obviously you've got a new single out with Ironic called Little Bit.
Yeah.
Can you tell the audience how did you craft that song and what inspired it?
Yeah, so it's actually quite interesting because so I've been touring with Ironic all year. We've done Thailand twice. We're gonna do Thailand again in December. We've done Dubai a couple times. So we've been just, and when the last time we were in Thailand, we have this, so basically we have, the way that we do our set now is like, it's all fused into one. So he's DJing, I'm performing, but then like I'm hosting too. So it's fused into one. So it's like an hour set, but it's all merged into one. So I'll come out, I'll open the show, I perform a couple of songs, then we gradually move into him DJing, but I'm still there hosting, then he might host again, then I might finish the show performing. So basically what Ironic would do on all the sets is like the last bit of the set, he goes into like a Amapiano type style. So he's playing a Amapiano near the end and I'm like hyping and hosting it and vibing it, and then we close the show with that. So I feel like I had a conversation with him where I was like, you know what, why don't we should make a song that like has like a Amapiano vibes in it, but it's like a UK rap song, because no UK rappers rap over Amapiano, like, because it's very Afro beaty type, up tempo type stuff. So it's like kind of like in the dance tempo, you know what I mean? So it doesn't really go with UK rap usually. So I was like, we should make something like that. And then he's like, yeah, we should. So then I think he left Thailand before me, I was still there. He sent me a beat. So he sent me a beat idea himself, innit? So I was like, okay, let me listen to it. I listened to it and I was like, oh, this sounds really good, but it could have this on it and that on it. So I gave him some tweaks. And then he sent it back to me. And then I was like, okay, cool, I can work on this production now. So when we got back to the UK, he came over and then I kind of basically stripped out loads of the stems, kept the bits I like, moved things around and then just produced the beat. Okay. You know what I mean? So I produced it up and then I was like, we were trying to find a way to like bridge like rap with like that kind of fall to the floor and Amapiano sound. And so like in the chorus, that's why we've got like it's a 2-part chorus. It's kind of almost like it's like 16-bar chorus. Because it has I don't know what you heard about me, like going back and forth, but that beat is very a hip hop beat. And then it builds up and then it drops into like a fall to the floor beat where we're doing the step just a little bit, so it's a whole separate. So that was us kind of trying to battle in a way to like mix this UK rap with this Afro house and Amapiano type sound. And I feel like we've just found a way to fuse it all together. So yeah, that's kind of how it came about, and then we just finished writing the whole song together, and yeah, we wrapped it up.
Okay. So there's actually a song that I really like for you, and you did a collaboration with Clean Bandit.
Oh yeah,
and
Drive. Yeah.
So how did you create the song Drive?
So with Drive had like the original version with Clean Bandit, Wes Nelson, and Topic. Shout out to A7S as well, he worked on that too. So what actually happened was I had heard it And then I didn't really know Clean Bandit. I didn't know anyone from Clean Bandit at that time. But I just sent a DM to Clean Bandit and was like, you know what would be sick? Like if you gave me those files and I could like make a beat out of it, and then we could kind of like craft like a remix version, but like an actual, like it's like a new song. So I sent that message and I was like, let's see what happens. And then they just hit me back like, and were like, here's the files. I was like, oh wow, I got the files to the Clean Bandit song. So like I just got the files. I think I was in Dubai at that time too. So I just quickly like whipped together this beat just because I didn't want to lose that window. You know, sometimes when people give you opportunity, if you leave it too long, they kind of move on. So I was like, no, I just need to just send something today. So I just started on this beat and then sent it. And then they heard it and was like, Grace heard it and Grace was like, this sounds good. Like I was like, okay, let me finish the beat. But I was busy because I was in Dubai and I was doing stuff. So shout out to my guy Wise. He's a producer. He kind of like took my files and then added in the stuff that I needed to like make it sound like what I was trying to get it to sound. Because I had it there, but like sonically it was like, imagine you've just played like a bass line in, but with like a basic synth, but you know what you want, but you're in Dubai, you're not in the studio, and you're just on your laptop. So you're like, oh, Wise, here, change all of this to like the right sounds. And he's done that really good, and he just fiddled with the bass line a lot. Sent it back to me, it sounded crazy. And then I got on the phone to Grace, so we were just talking. Grace, by the way, plays the violin in Clean Bandit. So like I got on the phone to Grace, she was like, yeah, I want to add some stuff to the beat. She sent me over some violins. And then that's when we started talking about who we should get on the record. So that's how we came up with the idea of Chip. French the Kid, because he was someone that I was seeing a lot at the time, like we was bumping into each other at different places. So French the Kid, Russ was a later thought, but for that kind of vibe, I thought he was perfect. And then we just put it all together, so yeah.
So obviously you mentioned Dubai a lot.
Yeah.
What is it about Dubai that I guess like moves you as a person, or like what is it about Dubai that you love so much? Because obviously, would you say it influences your music as well?
Yeah, I think I'm just like, in general, I'm like a hot country person. Like, I've just always liked being in that kind of habitat, and I feel like Dubai for me, it's just more about, I feel like it was the first place where I had that level of accessibility. Like with the time when I was first going to Dubai, there wasn't stuff going on. There wasn't artists over there, maybe some American ones, but not like UK acts. Like it was fresh, so it was like I've gone over there and I've made a lot of friends. And it's easy to network out there. It's easy to make friends. It's easy to move around. So I kind of just got used to that. And I think that's why I always continue to return, because I'm built up such a network there of friends that all live out there and are all doing great things. DJs, hosts, artists, producers, radio, you know what I mean? Hosts, like I've made such good friends. I feel like I'm at home when I'm there too. Just like minus the rain, the English the English weather. So it's good, yeah.
What advice do you have for upcoming producers, just in general?
I think just don't be afraid to work with whoever respects your craft. Don't always chase like, oh, I need to work with this big name. Most of the time, the bigger the name, the less you're going to get out of it, because at the end of the day, that person is like, I'm putting you on. So just me working with you is enough. Whereas when you're working with somebody up and coming, they're going to appreciate your style more, your sound more. They're going to respect what you do more, respect your time, your efforts. And if they become successful from you working with them, you get a better foot into the game than somebody that's already established. Like if I work with Joe Bloggs, who's never had a song, and he blows up, everybody is going to be like, you made so-and-so blow up. Like your music helped that happen. If I work with Beyonce, it's not really like, she's already Beyonce. You're not going to be like, I'm the person that made Beyonce successful. she's just gonna run with that's her thing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, her latest song's good. No one listens to a Beyonce album and goes like, who produced this? They just look, it's Beyonce, she's Beyonce, so that's enough for everyone. We don't need to look any further. So it's definitely better to like work with fresh talent, new people, and if you can make your way with that, you get a lot more credit.
So as a producer, what do you look for in artists that you want to work with?
I just look for like talent where they're fast to work with. I work really fast in the studio. I'm quick on the button, so I like someone that's like, yo, let's redo this take, do it. Quickly record this, do that. Get to the song complete, do that. We're not struggling to find lyrics, we got it down. So efficiency and speed is definitely what we look for. And obviously the talent, yeah.
What was it like collaborating with Chipmunk?
Yeah, man, he's a good guy, man. He's a cool guy. Like, I like Chip's energy because it's always a real energy. It's always a real energy. If we're in the studio, we know when the beat's not working because he'll just be like, this ain't working. And when it is, I believe him. Where sometimes some people come in the studio, yeah, this is great. Yeah, well, we're not gonna go with this one. We're going with that. So, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I went in the studio with Chip. When the beat wasn't right, he was like, yep, this is not the beat. When it was right, I got a phone call the next day like, yeah, this is going on the album. I've sent it to this person. They're gonna feature on it. It's coming out. Sorting out the business, and we move. There's no like, oh yeah, this is fine, and then later on, actually, you know what I'm saying? So it's always a genuine energy with Chip.
What do you think's one thing that's missing from the music industry today?
I think we are slowly returning to a time where the most important thing is the music. I think for a long time it's been like numbers. Numbers have driven the game for a long time, and I feel like we're just now getting to a space where that doesn't matter as much. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine in this time we're in right now, like people saying somebody has good music just because their numbers are great. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if they've got millions of views or streams, they still need to show up at the show. And if it doesn't sound good, at this time, we've heard so much that we've heard everything. So it's like, if it's not sounding good, I don't think people won't give it that benefit of like, oh, well, but look how many streams. Like, there was a moment when that was happening, but I don't think that's happening now. So I think we're on the right path.
Okay, so the last thing I want to ask you is, what projects are you currently working on? Can you reveal anything, or what future projects?
Just more of my own. I mean, like I want to start releasing more than 2 singles a year. Well, obviously more music with Ironic, definitely, because we're doing a lot together right now. I got some collaborations. I'm really trying to go more into the melodic R&B space, so look out for some stuff like that in the future. And yeah.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate that, man.
Thank you, man.